Shyamuvacha imam prasuptam Sanjeevayati Akila Shakti Darasvatamna Anyam Sahascha Charana Shravanattu Gadin Prana Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Tasmadakam Vikita Viklava Ishwarasya Sarvatmana Mai Grinami Yata Manisham Nicho Jaya Gunamasarga Anupravishtaha Uye Tayena Kuman Anuvarnitena Namo Vishnu Shrimati Ma Vishnu Goswami Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Saraswati Devi Gauravan Vibhushesha Punyavadi Pashyadi Desara Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Ke Dvaita Gadadara Shiva Sadhu Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama. We are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, second canto, first chapter, fourth verse. Pant Prabhu, can you display the verse? Prabhuji's Mataji's, please forgive me. Today will be a very strong verse, and this is spoken by Sukadeva Goswami. Very, very strong verse. It will be very difficult to digest, but it is a fact. Since it is a fact, we have to accept it. And if we can realize this verse and apply, then our life will be completely blissful and joyful, and completely we can be Krishna conscious. Can become Krishna conscious, but it is not so easy because it's a very challenging verse, and it's not so easy because we are embodied in this body for so many millions of janmas. So it's not so easy. Please bear with me. It is a very strong verse, and this is a very strong verse spoken by Sukadeva Goswami, and also Krishna has also spoken a strong verse. Very, very strong verse he has spoken. So please bear with me. Please don't mistake me. Okay. I'm just repeating the words of Bhagavatam. Deha patya kalatradishu atma sainyashu asatswapi desham pramatto nidanam pashyan napi na pashyati. Deha patya kalatradishu atma sainyashu asatswapi desham pramatto nidanam pashyan napi na pashyati. Anybody can read the verse one time?
Dehapatya kalatradishva atma sanyashva asatsvapi tesham pramatto nidhanapi na pashyati.
Correct. Wonderful. Wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Deha, okay, Hare Krishna. Sorry. Deha, body. Apatya, children. Kalatra, wife. Adishu, and in everything in relation to them. Atma, own. Sainyeshu, fighting soldiers. Asatsu, fallible. Api, in spite of. Desham, all of them. Pramatta, too attached. Nidanam, destruction. Pashyan, having been experienced. Api, although. Na, does not. Pashyati, see. Translation and purport by Jivan Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Very strong translation and very strong purport. Persons devoid of Atma Tattva do not inquire into the problems of life, being too attached to the fallible soldiers like the body, children and wife. Although sufficiently experienced, they still do not see their inevitable destruction. The material world is called a world of death. Every living being, beginning from Brahma, whose duration of life is some thousands of millions of years, down to the germs who live for a few seconds only, is struggling for existence. Therefore, this life is a sort of fight with the material nature, which imposes death upon. In the whole human form of life, a living being is competent enough to come to an understanding of this great struggle for existence. But being too attached to family members, society and country, etc., he wants to win over the invincible material nature by the aid of bodily strength, children, wife, and relatives, etc. Although he is sufficiently experienced in the matter of the depth of past experience and previous examples of his deceased predecessors, he does not see that so-called fighting soldiers like the children, relatives, members, society members, and countrymen are all fallible in the great struggle. One should examine the fact his father or father's father has already died, and that he himself is therefore, sorry, one second. Yes, therefore also sure to die. And similarly, its children, who are all would be fathers of their children, will also die in due course. No one will survive and struggle in this material nature. The history of human society definitely proves it. Yet, the foolish people suggest that in the future they will be able to live perpetually with the help of material science. This poor fund of knowledge exhibited by human society is certainly misleading. It is all due to ignoring the constitution of the living soul. The material world exists only as a dream due to our attachment to it. Otherwise, the living soul is always different from the material nature. The great ocean of material nature is tossing the waves of time. So-called living conditions are something like foaming bubbles, which appear before us as bodily self, wife, children, society, countrymen. Due to a lack of knowledge of self, we become victimized by the force of ignorance and thus spoil the valuable energy of human life in vain search after permanent living conditions, which are impossible in this material world. Our friends and relatives, so-called wives and children, are not only fallible, but also bewildered by the outward glamour of material existence. As such, they cannot save us. Still, we think that we are safe in our orbit of society, family, society, or country. The whole materialist advancement of human civilization is like the decoration of a dead body. Everyone is a dead body flapping only for a few days. Yet all the energy of human life is being wasted in the decoration of his dead body. Shukadev Goswami is pointing out the beauty of the human being after showing the actual position of bewildered human activities. Persons who are devoid of the knowledge of Atma Tattva are misguided, but those who are devotees of the Lord have perfect realization of transcendental knowledge are not bewildered. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada, transcendental strong purport ki jai. Actually, Shastras are also called like a scissor. They cut through the our heart and all to understand the reality of the fact. And therefore, this verse is speaking the same thing, and therefore it is very, very strong. So please bear with me and don't get dejected or depressed. But it is a fact. So we have to digest it and assimilate it, and then pashyan api na pashyan. We see, but they don't see. That's right. It's a beautiful word. This, especially the last sentence, is exemplary. Okay, let us go to the background of this verse, which is very important for us to understand. So, in one, actually, we know Parikshit Maharaj was cursed, and he was sitting on the banks of the Ganges, waiting for all the sages assembled. And then at the time, Shukadev Goswami comes. When Shukadev Goswami comes, he sees such an exalted person. He's not an ordinary living entity. So, Shukadev Goswami, when he was born, even he was in the womb for 16 years, he doesn't want to come out. So his father and mother, Vyasa Bhagavan, is asking, please come out, please come out. He said, I will not come out. Why? Because I will become bewildered by the material energy of God. So then Krishna has to come personally and assure him, the moment you are born, you will be liberated and you will not be bound by any material affection. And then afterwards, that assurance only, he came out. And then the moment he came out, he was completely detached. He just went away from his home. And his father was crying, where is my son? Where is my son? The Bhagavatam, it is mentioned first canto. He was running after his son and he could not catch him. And then he could capture him only with the Bhagavatam verse, Aho Bakiyam, and another verse, Barhabidam. Two verses. One is describing the qualities of Krishna, another one is the quality of Krishna, describing the feature of Krishna, another one is bodily features of Krishna, another one is transcendental bodily features, another one is describing Krishna's mercy. And therefore, being hearing this verse, he comes back to his father and to hear Bhagavatam from him. So, Vyasa Bhagavan has written all the literatures, but he wants to deliver to his son because he is the perfect disciple and the son, and therefore he wants to deliver. So, Shukadev Goswami understood the mood of Parikshit Maharaj, and therefore he comes on his own. Bhagavatam tells us very nicely how Parikshit Maharaj was so humble. Parikshit Maharaj is not only living entity, he's a Mahabhagavata. You know, Bhagavatam says, first canto, 12th chapter says that he was an excellent devotee of the Lord. He was so much absorbed in Krishna consciousness. He mentions the moment he hears Krishna Katha, he goes into transcendental ecstasy. He forgets himself. Just like Kundirik Vidyanidhi hearing Aho Bhakiyam, he went into ecstasy. The same way, hearing Krishna Katha, Parikshit Maharaj goes into ecstasy. Bhaktim Karodi Nipatish Charanaravinda. So, when he heard the qualities of Krishna, that he was Krishna was a Saradi, Krishna was a gatekeeper, Krishna was a night watchman. All this he heard, he became completely engulfed in the ocean of Krishna consciousness. And then he said that I was just paying obeisance. That's a beautiful verse. I think we discussed this. Whenever time permits, you read this verse. Whenever it's a very important verse. I'll put this. I like this verse very much. Saratyapada sadasevana saukya dautya Veerasananugumanastavanam Granaman Digdeshu Panju Bhakti Vishnu Bhaktin Korodi Nipati Bhaktin Korodi Nipati Sama. He says, one who is worshipped all over the world, he was a menial servant to my grandparents. So he got engulfed. How come the Supreme Personality who is worshipped, Radhitya Vishnu, he is being worshipped by, he is just doing a menial service to my parents, to my grandparents. Obeyed and entered all kinds of malleable sense. So Signeshu Pandishu Bhakati. Signeshu means malleable to the will of the will. So, and then hearing this, Parikshit Maharaj was not an ordinary living. So he was exalted personality of in the Pandava Sampradaya. So in the Pandava dynasty, he was exalted. So he is telling this verse. I was really bewildered. How can he tell this verse? He is telling 119:36 about Parikshit, about Sukadeva Goswami. Anyata Vektir Gatir Darshanam Nankatam Ganam Nitaram Miryamananam Samsiddhya Vanishaha. He says, otherwise, without being inspired by Krishna, how is that, Sukadeva Goswami? You have voluntarily appeared before here. Although you are moving incognito to the common man, you are incognito, you cannot speak, cannot see you as a pure devotee, and are not visible to us. I just remember my Guru Maharaj. He came to me in Abu Dhabi. I didn't go to him. I don't deserve. I don't deserve to see my Maharaj. I don't deserve to see Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj. But he came on his own. He came to Abu Dhabi. He came to Abu Dhabi. He gave lectures. He gave his mercy. Otherwise, how can I speak Bhagavatam? So, this is the mood. I don't know. I don't deserve. Because such a rascal I am. And such a fallen soul that I don't deserve to see such an exalted personality in my Guru Maharaj. And the shelter of Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of the Srila ISKCON movement. It is really unfortunate. I don't deserve. I went for Abu Dhabi for money. I didn't go for Krishna conscious. I don't want to do Krishna. I want to make money. As a chartered accountant, I want to make money. I was an accounting mentality, so I want to make money. But Krishna came on his own. So, Kanyagate Darshanam. So, we have voluntarily come. And Prabhupada writes in the purport also very nicely. See, so one can achieve ultimate success if you take shelter of his representative. So we have to take shelter of his representative, that Krishna's representative is Krishna. And only one thing is required: sincere service to the spiritual master. And that is what we have to do. And just like Shyam Sundar Prabhu, just preaching Krishna consciousness, distributing books rampantly, in spite of so many problems in Pakistan, he's doing this service. So Krishna will recognize this. It's because he's trying to serve his spiritual master. Serving this spiritual master means ultimately certifying Krishna. So there is no difference. Prabhupada writes very nicely in the purport. The sincere devotee thus assured is thus assured by the Lord for going back to Godhead. There is no problem at all. So we have to be just sincere to our spiritual master. And that is the way. So that's why it is. So see, as soon as the Lord finds that a particular soul is very eager to go back to Godhead. I was not eager to go back to Godhead. But still, Lord at once sends the bona fide president. So Krishna sent me without even, that means it is costless mercy. I don't deserve it, but I got it. And therefore, this is the mood we have to. So this program is arranged by Shyam Sundar Prabhu managing. It is a mercy given to you through Prabhupada. Prabhupada's mercy is flowing down to the parampara. And therefore, how much we have to be grateful. This appointment is not so easy. In fact, I was discussing one of my friends in Abu Dhabi. He is from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Chennai. His brother was working in Detroit in US. So what has happened? He came to Chennai for his father's ceremony. So he came and attended and everything was over. And he was supposed to go on 30th. He booked the tickets for 30th or 31st, so that first he will be in US. And second, he can join the office. He was planned. But suddenly he came to know that he has got a dental appointment on 29th in Detroit. So he said that 29th, I have to, because dental appointment with the doctor takes 6 months, 8 months in US. It's not so easy. I have to go to that appointment. So he cancelled all his trip. He was supposed to go to some pilgrimage and all for his native place. He stopped everything. He cancelled everything. And he said, I'm going back. So he thinks that the appointment is important. So this appointment every day, this Prabhuji, Prabhu is organizing without without any satiation. Single-handedly, he is doing it without any satiation, without any return. He is doing it. So how much we have to seek this appointment? This appointment, doctor with appointment, is going to take us back to Godhead. This Baba Roga, the material disease is going to be destroyed by Krishna. And the supreme doctor is Krishna. And therefore, this appointment, how we can miss? And therefore, it is very important for us to have this association. And every day, don't miss this appointment with Krishna. Any appointment is okay. The temporary doctors in the material world is okay. But they can come and go. But what supreme personality, supreme doctor, who is giving Baba Aushadha, medicine for our cure, for our disease, how we can leave it? So please don't leave this shelter. Please take shelter of all these devotees. And don't miss this appointment. Okay? This Krishna has given you. It is costless mercy. It's given by Sham Chandra Prabhu to have a program, to arrange a program, and Pant Prabhu is organizing. Please don't take it for granted. Krishna has chosen you to come into this program. Otherwise, you will not come into this program at all. Unless Krishna chooses you, you will not be propelled or impelled to come to this program. Otherwise, you will not wake up early in the morning to come and do the chanting, come and attend this Bhagavatam class. Don't take it for granted. Krishna wants, he can drop you anywhere else. So I was so fallen that Krishna said that you don't deserve to be Namadar. You go to Chennai. You don't deserve to be Namadar. So Krishna will take 1 minute to throw you out. So please don't leave his shelter. It's very important. And don't leave the shelter of these devotees. So it's very important for us. So this is the mood. We have to understand how the Bhagavatam is being made. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking, so I don't deserve to see you. You are incognito, but I got darshan. And then immediately what he asks, he doesn't ask, oh, Pamistry, tell me how much money I will make, how many children I will make. No, he doesn't ask. What does he ask? He asks, Yet Shrotavyam, Yet Yato Japyam, Yet Kartavyam, Debri Prabho, oh Master, then Smartavyam, Bhajaniyam, Bruhi, please tell. Bruhi means request. He's requesting, oh Master, I'm requesting you. See the mood of Parikshit Maharaj. Bruhi means please tell. Prabhupada writes very nicely, the word to word. Please explain. So what I should do, a dying man should do. This is the mood. So he's asking this question. Tell me what a dying man should do, what I should hear, what I should remember, what I should do worship. Please tell me. Because please explain to me. Oh Master, oh Prabhu. Prabhu means he's not calling him ordinary living. You are the spiritual master. So this is how we should. And then Manu is also telling in Bhagavatam very nicely. Oh, Deva Deva, please, master of the demigods, Brahma, please tell me how to do the creation. Please provide me the earth where I can start the creation. So this is how the mood of the devotees of the Bhagavatam. Very, very humble. We never had any iota of ego. Because they always think that they are a servant of Krishna. The moment we think, I am preaching now, Krishna consciousness, I become a senior person, and you are all Chota, then I am just going down into the train. I'm going into the Tamo Andam, grossest of ignorance. So I am also a servant. I am trying to serve you through this preaching. Hare Krishna. So this is very, very important. So what I should remember. So the moment Sukadeva Goswami said, he was exalted. Because he is a realized person. He wants this topic. Oh, this person is asking me this topic. So he became enthused. So what we will ask first topic? We ask topic, Prabhu, kya hua? UP election kya hua? Ukraine में क्या हुआ, रशिया में क्या हुआ, वो होने वाला होएगा. So why you worry about it? Yes, we have to worry, but not much. Nothing is under control. Can we stop the war? Can we talk to Putin? We cannot do. We can only pray to Krishna, so that they can be propelled and impelled from the Paramatma to refrain from war, so that it doesn't have cascading effect on all the economies of all the world. That's all we can pray. We cannot do anything else. Nothing is under control. So that he was so excited, because he is a realized soul. He wants this knowledge. He was so happy. And then he glorifies. See how he glorifies in 2.1.1, second canto, first chapter. He says, Varyan Esha the Prashna. Varyan is glorious. He became exuberant. He became excited. He was jumping from his seat. Sukadeva Goswami is jumping in this seat. He said, what a glorious question you have asked. And this is the question I wanted from you. I am very much pleased. Eshaha. Krishna, your question is very good. Made by you, Lokagitam is beneficial to all others. He says, your question is glorious because it's very beneficial to all kinds of people. The answer to this question is the prime subject matter for hearing. It is the prime subject matter. Prime numbers are unique. It cannot be divided by anything else. It can be divided only by itself. Prime numbers are unique. Correct? So that's prime number, subject matter for hearing, and prime subject matter. Most important. So this is the topmost appointment. So, and it is approved by all transcendents. Shrotabhyadisha Yapparaha. Atma means Samada. Atma means Samada means it is approved by all transcendents. So the moment he heard, he became so this is how we have to encourage each other living entity. He's encouraging Parikshit Maharaj. You have asked a wonderful question. So this is how we have to encourage all living entities. Atma Tam, Atma Bhavana. Atma Bhavana means we have to encourage the living entity to ask questions and then we should share. And this is how Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami, he said, oh, you asked this question. Okay. No, he's identified. Oh, he's not an ordinary living entity. He's part and parcel of Krishna. He is my disciple. But he's asking a wonderful question. Let me appreciate him. Let me encourage him. This is how we should do. So this is how it is very important. Paryan, this is very, very important. Paryan Asia. So it is very important for us. And then he understood. What does he want? So then he feels that how the people of this Kali Yuga. You ask me what we want to hear, I'm telling you what is happening currently. So he is explaining very, very strong dose, which is not digestible for us, but it's a fact. He says that, he was telling about the common people because he's asking a common question. What I should do, what the dying man do. Actually, he's not asking question for himself. He's asking question for everybody. So he's understood. Loka hitam, it is beneficial for all the people. Therefore, he tells what is the nature of this world, what we are supposed to do. So he's going to compress whatever question asked, relevant question, what I should hear, what we should do, and then what is happening now. He's telling presently how the people are there, what we should do. So he is telling the current status of the Kali Yuga because it was just in the conjunction of Kali Yuga. He knows Sukadeva Goswami. And then he says very nicely, wonderful. Srotabhyani Nanendra Nanam Siddhi Shakasha Shaka Apashyatam Atmatattvam Grikeshu Grikamedina. He says all these Grikamedis, they are attached to material properties and all because of they are attached to family life and all. Srotabhyani, they are willing to hear anything about it. What has happened to UP election? What has happened to Punjab election? All these things they have gone. Srotabhyani Rajendra Nanam Santi Shakasha Shaka. All these living entities, they are interested in all these topics. Apashyatam means they don't see Atma Tattva, they don't see the soul. Krikeshu, they are attached to Griha. Grikamedina. Grikamedina means they are enjoying the life sense gratification. Eating, mating, and sleeping and defending. So Grikamedina. And then he explains the next verse very nicely. He says very nicely, and then the next verse he says how they spend their life. The next verse, how these Grikamedis are. Naktam Vyavahena Chayavayaha Divyachate Rajan Kudupabarena. Just for maintenance of the family, maintaining the family, such an envious householder is passed at night either in sleeping or in sex indulgence, and in daytime in either making money or maintaining family. So he's just maintaining that. Then he says in this verse, he says, okay, the Kudumba Parana, okay, then he goes. He says, what are the gender people are doing? Why they are doing? Because they are enjoying the material life, maintaining the family and that. And why they are doing to the family life? Because they are attached to it. So he is going to tell in the next verse. Very logically he is explaining. So there is a thread connecting the verses. So he is telling first verse, people are interested in so many things. They are not interested in God consciousness because they are attached to the family. And why they are attached? Because they want to maintain the family. And why they are maintaining the family? They think that their family and children are going to be eternal. And they think they are going to have a permanent settlement. They think the body is eternal. Their family is eternal. And that's what he is going to tell. It is all eternal. And then he tells this particular verse. Dega Patya Kalatra Dishu Atma Shainyashu Atatsapi Desham Pramatto Nidanam Pashyan Napina Pashyati. So Deha, this body. So this body is Deha Patya. Patya means children. Kalatra. Kalatra means wife. Adishu means all other relatives. Atma Shainyashu. Basic meaning I will understand. Atma Shainyashu means they are our soldiers. But Sainya means soldier. Atma Shainyashu, they are the protector of our body and our everything. We are thinking of soul and all. And then Asat Sopi. Asat Sopi means they are all temporary. Infallible soldiers. Prabhupada writes the word fallible. Asat Sopi. Tesham. Therefore, Pramattam. Those people who are attached, grossly attached, Nidanam, they are going to be destroyed. Your family, your body, your children, everything is going to be destroyed. Either you leave them or they will leave you. Tesham pramatto nidanam. Pashyan. Just see. Pashyan. You know it. You see it, but you don't really see it. Pashyan. Api na pashyan. This is the basic meaning of the verse. Let us go into this verse. So, Krishna tells the Bhagavatam how we are so much attached to the body and also to the country and all. Krishna tells Uddhava, not the sages and the Pandavas, very nice. 10th canto, 84th chapter, 13th verse. Very important verse. Prabhupada quoted in so many places. Very beautiful verse. Isyatma buddhe kunapet takte swadi kalatradishu bhaumya ijadihi yetita buddhi salile nakarshit janesh abhignesh savaye gokara. Gokara means you are a cow and an ass. If you think this body is going to be there, Isyatma buddhi, atma buddhi. If you have a buddhi, intelligence, that body is going to be eternal. Tridadike, which is made of mucus, bile, and air. Then it is swadihi. Swadihi means kalatradishu. My wife, children, they are going to be eternal. Bhaumya, this earth is worshipable. All these are all nonsense. Kalatradishu, Bhaume, this earth, oh, this Bharat Mata ki jai, this all these things they are telling, no, this nothing is going to earth. Because the earth is going to leave you or you are going to leave the earth. Either of these things is going to earth. So these are all, this is all cow mentality or ass mentality. And then go to the place of pilgrimage and think it's only a seat of water. Oh, this is Vrindavan. It's a teeth. It's only a water. No, it is transcendental. Radhakud, Shamakud. These are all Krishna has played the past tense. It is not an ordinary place. Instead of associating with the devotees in the pilgrimage places, if you do that, then it is a Jnaneshu Abhigneshu. If such a person who doesn't have any knowledge, Abhigneshu means Abhigneshu, one who is wise. He's not wise at all. So he is Sayeva Gokara. It's very wrong. Now, let us go into the first word, Deha. Deha, what is this Deha? So always we are thinking, and it is mentioned in the Shastra, in Padma Puran. There is a nice description of Deha. It's very important for us to understand. What is this Deha? Okay, please listen to me. It's very, very important. Okay, this is from Padma Puran. It talks about wonderfully about the definition of the body. Our Maharaj used to say, Asti stambam snaya bhaddam mamsha shonita lepitam karmavandam gandam patram mutta purishayo jarashoka vipakartam yoga mandiram aturam dushpuram duddardam dushtam sadosham sharmabhanduram astirena stiram kutah karma kuta yam. So, Yam Sade Nahi, he says, Asti Stambam. This body is made up of bones. You know, suppose our Maharaj is supported by columns of bones. You know, you have bones. There are so many bones, within 216 bones, they are saying. So, this body is made of bones. Our Maharaj used to say, my Maharaj used to say that if you don't have bones, suppose I have to go from this room to another room, it will take 1 year. Bones is not there, we cannot move. So bones are so important. Asti stambam, snaya baddham. All these bones are fixed with what? They are fixed tight with the network of nerves. The nerves and tendons, they call it. And then, what about? But the mamsa shonita lepitam. And then we have the flesh and blood inside our body and covered with full skin. Charma bandam. This charma means the skin. The skin we are covered with this. And durgandam. Listen, it is Durgandha means always giving a bad smell. You know, that's why we have smell all over the body. Every day we take bath twice a day. Why? Because the body always emits all the waste. So it comes out in the form of sweat, you know, and that's why it is always. And then they put all the deodorants and all this. So always Durgandha. Why? Because Patra Mutra Purishayoho. It is a vessel containing blood and urine. Nothing else is patram. It's a vessel. It's a vessel containing mutra. It is full of mutra. And that's why it has to stink. And that's why, you know, somebody, especially those who are patient, stroke patient, they move from other side because all these places become dirty and they become itchy. And then Jara, Shoka, Vipaka. Jara, old age is there. Shoka, we are always lamented because of that. Vipakartham, always we think something and opposite things happens. Roga Mandiram Aturam, this is a temple of disease. Always we have disease. You have so many diseases now. Dushpuram. Dushpuram means full of faults, destroyed. It has been characterized being, and it is difficult to, Dushpuram means very difficult to satisfy. And unsustainable. Durdaram. Dushtam, greatest enemy. And then Shadosham, Shanabanguram. Shadosha means it's full of faults. Shanabanguram, anytime it can leave the body. Shanabanguram. Krimi with Bhashma. Krimi means it has become a worm, for or a stool or something like that when we leave the body. Just like somebody puts the body in the Ganges. Then what happens? The insects and the birds and everything eat, and then it becomes as a stool, and we become worms. So, Samjatam Sarira Vidhi Bharati. This is the definition of the Sarira. So, Ajirena Stiram. This is Ajirena means it is not a permanent situation. And then why you are not doing something which is required for eternally? Sade Nahi Uttaham. Why we are not doing it? Why then should not perform with this material unstable body, which is lead to immortality, so that we can become completely liberated. So this is what the Bhagavatam says. So the Deha which we are pampering so many years, it's going to be useless. There is a nice story in this connection. Once there was Akbar, not Akbar, it was Ashoka, and also there were some ministers. They all went to meet a saint. They met, and the saint was not very rich, so he was little clumsy and dirty. But he was a very saintly person. He was completely detached. So this Ashoka paid obeisances and everything was done. And then he came back. The minister said, he's a dirty fellow. He may be a saint, but he's a dirty fellow. Why you are attached? Then he says, oh, that's why you want to know? Okay, I'll tell you. So get me a goat's head, tiger's head, and a human head. I want you to get it. Please get it. So immediately this fellow, minister, went and he tried to get goat's head very easily. Tiger's head was difficult, he got it. And then human head, you got it from a skull from this. And then he took it and then he gave it to Ashoka. Ashoka saw, now this goat tried to sell it to somebody. He tried to sell it to somebody, the goat head went up very quickly. Tiger said they were hesitating, but they took it for eating. And then when he tried to sell the human skull, nobody was taking. Nobody was taking the human skull at all. Everybody was afraid. I don't want a human skull. Human skull, we don't want. So then he said it cannot. So the human skull, which is a dead body, doesn't have any value. So it doesn't have value, but this person, because he is absorbed in Krishna consciousness, he is a saintly person. So let this head, which doesn't have any value, let us bow down to him so that we can purify our consciousness. This body is full of dirty. So dirtiness it is no use. After death also it is thrown into the crematorium. So what is the use of this body? So let me use this body to serve the saintly person and purify my existence. So that is the nature of this body. So that's what we have to understand. That, and then that fellow is interesting. Therefore, what we should do with this body? Bhagavatam tells very nicely. Rishabhadev instructs his son, 551. Very important verse. I am Dego, Dega Bhajan Viloke. Kashtan Kaman Hargade Vipujake. Tapo Divyam Putraka Ayan Satvam, Shuddhe Nitmat Dhamma Saukyam Tuana. He says, I am Dego. This body, Dega Bhajan, so this body is we got. Loki, all the living entities we got. Now I am. It is not for this purpose. Kashtan Kaman, it is not working for sense gratification. Kashtan Kaman Hargade would struggle hard, like foam, we are struggling. Arghade with Bhujamne. Arghade, it is not fit for eating like a stool eating hog or a dog. No, not for that sense gratification. Tapo Divyam, you have to do tapas. Putraka and Shatvam. Oh Putra, understand this. Suddhaye, purify your consciousness. Brahma Shaukyam, you can get the eternal happiness. Only by Anantam, unlimited happiness, only you get by serving Krishna. It's very important for us to understand this. So it's a beautiful verse. So, why we should not depend on this body? Because this body, which we are holding morning when we wake up for Mangalarti, the mind tells us, Prabhuji, mind tells us, Prabhuji, you slept at 11:45 and you want to wake up at 4 o'clock. Prabhuji, please give some time. Let the body take some rest. It has not taken rest. And it is a Sunday. It's a holiday in UAE. It's a holiday in India. Let us take some rest. Let me enjoy for some time. The mind will tell. Because this body, we want to pamper. The mind is the worst enemy. It is called Adabra Viriam, unlimitedly powerful. It will tell you, don't make up for Mangalati. Don't attend this program. Don't attend this Samsundar program. Why we have to attend this appointment? No, let us take rest. The mind will tell. Because this body, here, the mind is so much engulfed this body, and we identify with the body, Deha. So this Deha we are pampering. But what we should, Bhagavatam tells, Tapo Divyam. You have to do austerity. You have to force yourself, get up from the bed and go to the bathroom and have the shower and come and have the darshan of the Lord. And then chant the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Tapo Divyam. It is a transcendental. This tapas is the Divyam, is transcendental. Putraka Enashat. Oh Putrakas, oh children, 100 sons. Sattva, he is going, Sabadev is going for the pilgrimage. He is not different from the incarnation of Krishna. He is instructing his 100 sons. Shuddhaye, purify yourself. Brahma Saukyam, then you can attain eternal happiness. So this is the nature of the body. And this body which we are pampering, how much is cheating us? And this is what nicely mentioned by Bali Maharaj, 8.22.9. This is also a very good verse. Just with the Deha body, we can take so many verses from Bhagavatam. Kimatmananena jahati yontataha. Kimatmanena. This body which we are pampering so much with the decoration, with this lipstick and decoration and all, at the time of death it is teaching you. Kimatmanena jahati yontataha. Antataha means what? It is cheating you. 8.22.9. It is cheating you at the time of death. Kimatmanane jahati, which gives up at the end of the life. So it is cheating you. So why you are pampering this body? So we should not pamper this body. We should austere. And then Maharaj says, be merciless to yourself and be merciful to all other living entities. And we shouldn't be, okay, what we think, no? As a preacher, I'm a preacher. Prabhuji, all you wake up first at 5:30. I will sleep at 7:30. No, you should be merciful to all living entities. Compassion to all the living entities. But merciless to yourself. And this is what is required. So, this is very important. Now, this is about the body. We saw how this requires austerity. We should not pamper the children because it is going to cheat you. So, Tesham Pramatto Nidanam means it is going to be killed eventually. And therefore, we should not pamper the body. If body will ask, the mind will ask, body will ask, let us take some rest. But you force your body to do this exercise. And automatically, you will be trained. 5 hours of sleep is more than enough for the living entities. 5 to 6 hours. Some may require some extra hours, but that is enough. But what we do, we take more hours. So please tell the body that your body is meant for austerity. Tapo Divya Putraka Edisha. This is a tapas. Waking up barely for the Mangalati is tapas. And the big austerity. And this austerity must be done. So that we will please Krishna. We will please our spiritual master. And therefore, automatically the body will automatically wake up at 4 o'clock. Once you train yourself, then automatically wake up at 3:34. No need for you. Alarm. Automatically wake up. So, then therefore, this is Deha. Then Patya. Patya means Atma Sajyan. These are all valuable sources we think. This body cheats you at the time of death. Suddenly you are already, so I'm going to protect my family and all. We think, what Mataji was sharing in the Chennai group, that Mataji was sharing that she was dependent on her son, who is the bank manager in State Bank of India. He was doing very nice, excellent job. Everything was okay. And he has got married. He has got 2 kids. And his father and mother, everybody is happy. And that Mataji has got a daughter and son. So son was 35. Everything was gone. Suddenly one day he had some problem. He went to the hospital. He passed away. Whole family is in doldrums. He left his body. Can you imagine? So we don't know when we lose the body. Therefore, please don't miss this appointment with Krishna. So every day you don't miss this, because we don't know whether we'll get the opportunity or not, or that we'll get the human form or not. Prabhupada has assured, but we don't know what mode we are in this. So because we are contaminated with the conditioned existence, so we are going again to the modes of ignorance, and then we may not take the human body. Krishna has assured, Prabhupada has assured, but still we should not take the chance. So it's very important. So Patya. So this we depend on the body, the body is cheated him at the time of death. Patya means children. Children, no? Or Ali Maharaj is telling him, Kim Matmanene Jagadi Kim Viktahar. Viktahar means they are plunderers. The children and the mother, family wife, they are just plunderers of our wealth. We work the whole day for the family. Kim Viktahare Swajanakya Dasyu. Dasyu means they are plunderers. Viktahare, very beautiful verse. Bali Maharaj tells very nicely in 8.22.9. So, Patya, we are pampering, and we should not pamper our children. And it's very important. Chanakya Pandit says, Lale Panchavarshani, Dasavarshani Tade, Praptesh Sodase Varshe, Putram Mitravat Achare. He says, up to 5 years, you should treat the children like a king. And then what we do at 3 years, we send it to the school, LKG, which is not correct. Dasavarshani Tade, 15 years, you have to beat the children. Praptesh Sodase Varshe. And then Mitravat. After 15, you become a friend. And this is what Chanakya Pandit instructed. And therefore, this is very important. We think our children are going to protect. All the time we are thinking like that. And that is not going to happen. Because most of the time, now in the current situation, all our children are in US or anywhere. And parents are alone in the old age homes. And they're suffering. Most of the parents. Mental problem, physical problem, financial problem. So many problems. Actually, what has happened, I will tell you, just next house, there is a senior advocate. And he doesn't have child. Okay. He was having a property worth 6 crore, another property worth 6 crore. Almost 12 crores property he has. He was a senior advocate in Madras High Court, the legal lawyer. He's around 78. He physically become immobile. So what he did, he doesn't have a child. So he had his wife's sister has got a child. So he named all the properties in the child name. Give her, because her wife told, please give it so that let us not handle. Now what has happened? They gave everything to him, that girl. And the girl is telling how much money you are spending on this. Her money is asking, Mosi is asking his Mosi, why you require 30,000 for medicines? They are suffering. They are 78 old parents. 12 crores property, and which now they are begging. Everything they are given to him and they are begging. And one of the helpers who is coming here is telling, so pitiable situation. So these children, and they are given the entire property, and this is how they treat. Own parents, they don't treat. And the person who has given the money, they don't have even the basic gratefulness. I got this 12 crores because of these people. How I have to serve them? Whatever they ask, we have to give. All the bank balance she has swallowed. And she wants to give installment in money. Why are you spending this much money? Why are you spending? They are giving to the servant maid and all more. What is the problem? Why they not give? So this is how this mentality. But yeah, we are taking care. And we believe our children are going to take care of it. So I got an experience, one of my relatives, he was pampering his daughter too much. But at the same time, he did not pamper his son. He chastised his son all the time. Because his son was in outside India. So he was sending the money and all, he was taking care. But he was influenced by his daughter. The daughter told his father, told her father that I am only going to protect you. Your son will not protect me. He is sitting there. He will send only money. Physically, I am going to protect him. So this has went into the heart of the father. And father told that, and then every time, one time what has happened, there was an argument between the daughter and the son. And then daughter was shouting at the son. And then the father was witnessing. He should not correct her. And he's telling, I will take care of my father. You don't have to take care. You get lost from this place. You get out of this house. She shouted at me. Then the son was a nice person. He just leave it and he went. And you won't believe it. You won't believe it. And Krishna made a nice plan for the son to be alive. The daughter, who says will protect, she died in an unfortunate tragic accident. 2007. Imagine what has happened. Now, this father is completely bamboozled. He's completely depressed. He says, my daughter who is going to be in support is gone. Now I am dependent on my son. And my son, I have been chastised. Now he is feeling guilty. What is the use? At the time, she is not correct. So, Lalayat Panchamarshani means your children should not be. The daughter will say, I will protect my father. Because she is thinking that I am young, my father is old, I will protect him. But what has happened? The daughter is gone and the father is alive. Can you imagine? So how much putra shoma? So this is how we pamper and depend on so many people. These are all pramatto nidanam. They are going to die. So we are not maintaining. Krishna is maintaining. That's what. Okay. That's why Maharaj says the source of income is not the source of maintenance. Source of income is whatever money we are earning. That is not maintaining our family. Maintenance is done by Krishna. He is doing the digestion. He is doing the everything for you, Krishna. Krishna is digesting chapati, red chapati, brown chapati, green sabji, red carrot, all this mixed and put it into blood. And he is making it, breaking it into vitamins. All this done in the liver. This all Krishna's Am Vaishvana Praninam Dekamashra. The Jadrak need is digesting. Krishna is doing everything. So your son, your daughter, everybody is maintained by Krishna. So this is how we should realize this. Tesham Pramatto Nidanam. They are going to be destroyed. So this is what we have to remember, So Aurangzeb killed his own father. Can you imagine? So many people killed their own father. Recently, one child in Chennai, what has happened? Our mother told that too much time don't spend in mobile. She became so angry, she took a stick and hit the head of the mother, and mother died instantly. This Patya, they killed the own mother, our own mother. So the children which we are pampering, they become very bad. Please remember, Krishna. So important. So, and also you must understand, these people are not going to come. So, what they will do, they will come up to Smashan Ghat to do the final rites. Otherwise, they don't. What is that? Tanani Bhumo Pashuvobi Ghoshte. Nari, the wife will come up to the gate. And then, Sakash Smashani, all their friends, relatives, their son, they will come up to Smashan Ghat. Afterwards, you are alone. Nobody is going to accompany us. Okay? Either you leave them or they will leave you. These children which we are dependent on. Therefore, depend on Krishna is very important. And then next we will discuss about it also. And then Kalatra, she is just expanding so many. And then he says, Bali Maharaj says very nicely, Kim Jaya Shamsiti He Jaya. His wife is nothing but expansion of the limb. So when I went to Abu Dhabi, when I went on a bachelor, I was sleeping in a single room. One cot, that's enough. Or I was lying on the floor with the mat. That's all. With the 2 pillows. And then when my wife came, I have to get the 3-bedroom accommodation. I have to fix the fridge. I have to have this. I have to have that. I was eating outside food and managing. Now, when my wife came, I have to arrange washing machine. I have to have gas stove. That things all. The expansion. It always expands. And if you are a brahmachari, if you want to be a brahmachari, it is very good. If you like to be a brahmachari, but not all people. Only 1 in trillion can become a brahmachari. I said there was one devotee in Rajkot. The devotee did not marry. He was so much attached to Radha Shamsundar, Radha Neelmadhav, that he's fully dedicated his life. His father told him, please come. He said, I don't want to come. I am loved Radha Neelmadhav. I don't want to love any girl. A full-time devotee. He's a very good Kirtaniya. He's doing a lot of services there. And his Kichari Prasadam is so wonderful. And his Kirtan, he can do Kirtan for 7 hours continuously. Without a break. Without even gasping for breath, he will do Kirtan. Such an exalted devotee. He is around 50, 52, fully dedicated to Krishna. Kalatra, the shoe. So wife is just an expansion. So, and then we have to understand, okay, I'm going to tell about that. So, how the wife should be. Bhagavatam tells very nicely. How the wife should be, Bhagavatam tells how Devavati Mata. Why nicely. Kalatra, the shoe means we should not reject them. This Bhagavatam tells us, tomorrow don't do this. Oh, Sajjan Priya has told, Prabhupada has told, we have to reject our family. Don't do that. That is nonsense. We have to understand, we have to get detached from this. Mentally, we should get detached. And our attachment should be reduced. This is a very important point we have to understand. These people are not valuable and we have to do the service. Anyway, Krishna has given the wife, Krishna has given the children. We have to take care of them. It is our duty to take care of them. We cannot ignore our children. Please don't ignore our children. We have to give them the education. We have to spend our money. Everything we have to do. There is no other goal. We have to do that as a matter of duty. And that's why we are working hard. But simultaneously, we have to understand, we have to get attached to Krishna. And that is what is important. Because just like, Prabhupada gives a nice example, a cashier in the bank. He may distribute cash, but his mind is what? Child in the house. The child in the house is not well. The mind will be on the child. The mind will not be on the cash. He will be counting cash and giving. Same way, we should do the service without any attachment. Brahmanya adaya karmani, sangyam daktva karodi. Lippatena papena, patra patra ivam. Just like a lotus leaf, yes. 5:10 of Bhagavad Gita is the best formula Krishna gives. How to be with the family at the same time, not with the family. So that is a beautiful. You are in Achinta Beda, Abeda Tattva. We are inside, at the same time, we are not outside. This is Achinta Beda, Beda Tattva philosophy. We are inside the family, at the same time, we are not. We are inside Beda, we are different from them. But Abeda, we are not different from them because we are part of the family. We are inside the family, at the same time, we are not part of it. That's how a Krishna conscious devotee behaves. And that is Ajinta Beda, Beda, Abeda Tattva. And this Tattva is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we are in, at the same time, we are not in. So this is very important. So here, Devavati Mata, how nicely she serves. No? Shambena Sauchena, 3:23:2. Gauravena Damena. So wonderfully she is serving. So we have to serve our husband and wife, intimacy and respect. Both husband and wife. Devavati Mata is serving Kartamamuni. He is an exalted devotee. Devavati Mata also is a devotee. So the service was there. And the service was done very nicely. Afterwards, they had the children. 9 children they had, including 9 plus 1, 10, including Kapila Muni. So that everything was done. And then she didn't leave Kartama Muni. No, I would just want to enjoy. No, I don't want to enjoy. I want to stop this incarnation. And then immediately she asked. And this is how we should cultivate our wife also in Krishna consciousness. We have to give them the children, Krishna conscious, wife, everybody we have to. And then Lord Kapila is the incarnation of Krishna. So how she like? She intimacy is there, at the same time respect. So what has happened? It is very important for us to understand the Kalatra issue. What we have to do is, we don't give respect, but nowadays the husband gives too much respect to the wife, and if forgets his father and mother to give respect. That's what is happening. So that should not happen. We should give respect, intimacy. Intimacy is there, we don't give respect. Because you know my weaknesses, and I know your weakness, and that's how we behave. No, Bhagavatam tells no. We should not exploit our weakness among others. This Bhagavatam, please remember. Bhagavatam is teaching everything, family life also how to be. This is very important. Vishrambena Gaurave. So she does very nicely. You read the purport according to us, 3:23:2. So how nicely he behaves. So Kalatra Dishu doesn't mean that we should just neglect them and go. That is not required. So how Devavati Mata and Kartamamuni lived. And then afterwards she asked for Krishna consciousness, and then she got the child. And then he gave, explanation of devotional service. Kapila gave Sankhya philosophy to Devavati Mata and liberated her. So that's how we should be. So the ladies also should be. Or the shoe, depending on so many living entities. So we know that all the people, they will come up to the graveyard. Afterwards, no. Tanani Bumo, Pashabobi Goshte, Nari Gragatwari, Sakas Pashani. All these shoes, so many living entities we are depending. All these people, they don't come with you. They just come up to the Smashan. Afterwards, they are forgotten. They don't even call you. They don't even, and nowadays death happens, and they don't call you also. They are alone. So that's how it happens. Even the own children doesn't call their father and mother. That's very bad. It's so important. So important. My sister died in 2017. I called every week. I called every third day. I called my father. How are you? How are you? How is everything? How is everything? We're not able to get out of that depression. That's very difficult for them. It took 1.5, 2 years. Somehow they came out of it. So it is so important that we should take care. It's very important. So all these people, therefore, we are dependent on so many people. I depend on this, I depend on this, I depend on this. Except that we have to depend on Krishna. So depending on anybody other than Krishna is utmost. And that's why Kunti Maharani says very nicely. 1.8.37. Why we should not? Atma Sanyashu Azatsabi. Azatsabi means they are all temporary. Only one person who accompanies us is Krishna. So, best example from the basis of the Bhagavatam, before we talk about Kunti Maharani, is Gajendra. Gajendra was Kalatra. Wife, so many wives were there. Patya, so many children were there. Adishu, so many friends and relatives were there. Thousands and thousands of elephants were there in the Trikuta mountain to help him. Everybody tried to help him, get him out of the lake, but the crocodile caught. And then he thought for a long time, and then decided, I was depending on all these people. They are all fallible soldiers. They could not ask much. He understood. And then what he did? He said, Ittam Gajendra Sadaya Pasankatan Pranasya deki vivarsho viduchaya aparayan atma vimokshane tiram dadgau mamuti adapi patyata. 8 to 31, 32, 33. He says, he took the decision. I was depending on this. Vivasho. Unconsciously, I have been caught with a crocodile. By providence, I got under the crocodile. Vivasho. Adapi patyata. I have now come to the decision. I have to take shelter of Krishna. He remembers his past life. And then he says, why I should take shelter of Krishna? And then he says, Tam Gajendra Sadhyapna Prana Sadeva Aparin Dadyo Mamputi Adabi Patyate. I should take shelter of Krishna. And then why I should take shelter of Krishna is telling. He says very nicely. Adabi Patyate. Namami me janataya utak karunya grahena patena. 8 to 32. Please, can you put it? Namami me janataya atur 8 to 32. Namami me jata aya aturam gajaha karakutak karinya prabhavanti mochitam ragena pashena vidaturavato apyam jatamyami paramparayanam. All these people, they could not help me. Now, my relatives, Nataya, friends and relatives, nobody could help me, could not receive. What to speak of my wives? They cannot do anything. By the providence, I got into the crocodile. And therefore, paramparayanam, who is the shelter of all the demigods and great personalities. Paramparayanam, I should take shelter. And then he says, why I am taking shelter of Krishna? Yet Krishnanesho balino the Koragat, Vikat, Pamita Vadoputam. Vitam Prapannam Paribadi Mrityu Pravat. Even the Mrityu runs away from Krishna. And therefore I am taking shelter of the supreme shelter. Because he can only give me relief from this danger. So this is how he understood. And then Kunti Maharani also confirms. He says, Kunti Maharani says, when Krishna leaves to Hastinapura, he says very nicely, 1837. It's very important verse. This Gajendra's prayer is also very important. You read all the three verses, especially 8 to 31. Whenever you are in difficulty, Prabhuji's and Mataji's, whenever you are in difficulty in the office, of family, everywhere, please read 8 to 31, 8 to 32, and 8 to 33. This is the only solution for us. There is no other solution. I didn't read that, I suffered for that. If you don't read it, you will suffer. So 8 to 31, 32, 33. It's very important for us. And then now Kunti Maharani says, Abhyasanastvam Swakrate Dide Prabho Jihasi Sumuto Anajivinaha Yesham Nachanya Bhavata Padamujat Parayanam Rajasu Yodi Amsasam. He says, oh my Lord, you have executed all your duties. Are you leaving us today? Though we are completely dependent on your mercy and have no one else to protect us. So he says, I am not protected because we have killed all the Kauravas and the other Ashwatthama is going to kill us with Brahmashtra. So you are only shelter. Then she says, then Pagi, then this Uttara prays to Krishna, Pagi. And then very nicely when Brahmastra was coming from Ashwatthama, we saw it also. So, because we have created so much enmity because of the war, we are dependent. And Prabhupada writes the purport. Depending on anybody other than Krishna is the utmost sign of misfortune. So that's why always depend on Krishna, always depend on Krishna, always depend on Krishna. Always depend on Krishna, always depend on Krishna. It's very important for you. In all transaction of life, please depend on. Therefore, we'll conclude quickly. Just give me 5 minutes, I'll conclude. Prabhupada writes, especially this purport, the third pair of the purport is very important. Very important. Pashya-napi na pashya. We see it, but we don't realize it. That's what Prabhupada writes. We see our grandfather died. So many people, one of my relatives, wife relative died. I didn't see that I'm going to die. I'm thinking I'll live for long years. Because Jeevit Asha, we have the desire to live. I don't even think my mother's sister husband passed away 1 month back. I didn't realize 2 deaths I've seen in the last 6 months. But I didn't realize that I'm going to die. But I say, I want to live permanently. How rascal I am. So this Pashya Napi, na Pashya. Tesham Prabhatto Nidanam. I'm going to die, but I don't realize it. And that's why Prabhupada writes very nicely the purport. Please read this purport and meditate. The whole material advancement of civilization is like a decoration of a dead body. This body is a dead body. Because what? Kapavada Pitta is full of stool and urine. Patra Pura Murshayo. And then Roga Mandira Matram. It's full of disease all the time. And then we are pampering this. So everyone is a dead body, flapping only for a few days. How many days? 70 years, 80 years, 60 years, 25 years, 35 years, we are flapping. Just like a bird. And then energy. We have wasted our energy of human life, wasted the decoration of the body. So, Shukadev Goswami is pointing out the duty of the human being to show a human being, showing off the actual question of the bewildered human activities. We are persons who are devoid of knowledge of Atma Tattva. That's why he says, no? Sotabdani Ninana Ninam Sati Apasadu. Here also, if you see here, Prabhupada used the word Atma Tattva in this verse. Why is he using? Because devoid of Atma Tattva. So, Apasharam Atma Tattvam, he says, why they are devoid? Because they are attached. Atma Sanyashu Atatsapi. Desham Pramatto Ninanam Pashyannapi Na Pashyati. So, this is very important for us to understand. Now, we will conclude. It's very important how, Prabhuji, you are telling, family is there, everything is there, how to get out of this. So, this is a very point. So, it is a duty of the every living entity, and therefore, those who are devoted to a perfect realization of the transcendent knowledge and are not bewildered. So, we should not get bewildered by all this, because this is a samsara dharma. Samsara dharma, it is natural to get attached to family and all, but slowly we should get householder. Narada Muni is asking, Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking Narada Muni, with that we will conclude. He is giving two verses. What a householder, we are all householders. So what we should do, he is giving an answer also. So, Dega Patya Kalra, these are all fallible. That's a fact for me. But how to run? I am in the family. I am in the midst of it. I am in it. I am up to the neck. You know, there was one film. It was an English film. I think, Guns of Navarone. Very beautiful film. 1970 film. And then one of the hero will tell the chemist, who is a chemical fellow who knows chemicals. You are in it up to the neck. The same way we are up to the neck inside this samsara chakra and this family life. So how to get out of it? And Narada Muni gives a beautiful thing. So Narada Muni says, Yatra Grigeshu Avastito Rajan. 7:15 is a very important point. How a Grihastha should live. 7:15 and 3 and 4. That also is there. Grigeshu Avastito Rajan. He says that you stay at home. Don't run away, because we cannot run away from family. So our Maharaj says very nicely, we have got a family, we cannot be careless. Okay, Sajjan Priya has told that Kalatra, they are fallible soldiers, I will run away from the family. No, you cannot do it, because you are so much attached. You are not fit to be detached. You are not even one of the star. Where is the question of sannyasa? You cannot take sannyasa. You have got the household responsibilities. You are in it. You cannot avoid it. Prabhuji Salmataris. How we should live, that's very important. Grigeshu Avastito Rajan Kriya Kurban Etochitaha. Whatever work you have to do, you do it very nicely. Whatever prescribed duty and your office work which you have to do, you do it. Echotita. Vasudeva Arpanam Shakshat. Offer everything results to Krishna. Upashita Mana Mune, and take shelter and instruction from the great saints. Then what we should do when we associate with devotees? Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Bhikṣam Avatara Katamrutam Saddhanino Yata Kalam Upashanta Janamritaha Satsangachanage Sangam Atma Jayatmadadishu Vumuchen Mutyamaneshu Swayam Swapna Bhavat Udditaha. 7:15, 2 and 3. A Grihastha must associate again and again with saintly person, and with great respect he must hear the nectar of the activities of the Supreme Lord and his incarnation, and these activities are prescribed in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and our other Puranas. That one should become gradually detached from the affection of his wife and children, exactly like a man awakening from a dream. From the dream we are getting attached slowly, gradually. It says gradually. Gradually, Prabhupada used the word gradually. Gradually, we should get detached and should be ready to attach to Krishna. And this is the only way. This is the only way. We cannot ignore the family. We cannot ignore our relatives. We cannot ignore. But we should be detached. And we should know our dependence is only on the, because he is the only person who is going to accompany us. Krishna is the Paramatma, is going to accompany us. Nobody else is going to accompany us. Dharma Anugachati, our bhakti and super soul Krishna will accompany us, along with the soul, along with our subtle body, mind, and intelligence, ego. Only thing which is going to accompany us is only this, only Krishna. So Krishna is going to accompany us, and then our dharma, devotion service. So therefore, we should always remember, don't be neglectful. Don't take the verse as strong and then ignore all your family. No, you do it. Your duty is as a duty. In fact, Prabhupada did some funding to our children who are suffering. He says, please give me my fund to them. So please give me my fund. Whatever Guru Dakshina is given, I want to give. He didn't touch his conscious money. He gave this money to his children to maintain because they were not able to maintain. He said, please give them some money so that they can maintain. Krishna, Prabhupada was very careful. Prabhupada was not, he was a sannyasi, but he was trying to maintain his family. See, such an exhorter. And then you are a Grihastha, you can run away from family. Please don't do that. No need to do. But you have to understand these are all temporary. That's why how Bhagavatam tells us, we have to know. Especially the body, don't pamper it. You have to do tapo divyam putraka. And then we must realize, Pashyan napi na pashyan. We know that and we don't realize it. Pashya, we see it. So many people died, but na pashyan. We don't see it. So don't leave alone. Realize it and try to practice with the detachment. As described by Narada Muni, so that the family life will be nice. Hare Krishna. Sorry for little strong message, please, from Bhagavatam. Please forgive me. If I have offended anybody, please. Any questions? Any clarifications? Any objections also? You can explain so that
Any devotee has any question, they can write in the chat box or they can speak in Hindi as well.
Yeah, they can speak also.
So, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Sajjan Priya Prabhu, for the wonderful and elaborated class. And it was a very hard shlok, but how nicely you described in different, quoting the different verses from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So you are also a Veda basic in your mind.
No, Prabhu, please. I'm not Veda based my mind. Maharaj Maharaj has trained me in this, and all glories to Maharaj. Maharaj told me to bury myself in the Bhagavatam. And some verses I know, some verses I am not. I'm not going a long way to go. So I'm not a Veda based person. I'm not that much knowledge I have. I'm just struggling. I'm trying to apply this in my life. I'm still struggling. I'm praying all. There are 3 types of devotees. Maharaj has 2 types. I added one more. One is advanced devotee, struggling devotee, and then struggle devotee. Struggling to become a devotee. I'm the 3rd category. I'm still struggling to be a devotee. The moment I go out, I forget myself that I am a servant of Krishna. In fact, all of you are exalted devotees who are coming regularly for this program. I pray all of you. I pray my Satakoti Dandvat Pranams. Please pray for me. One day I should get the taste for Bhagavatam. I'm just speaking. I'm not realizing. Pashyan. I'm seeing, but I'm not pashyati. I'm not seeing. So this is my position actually. This is my practical position. I'm getting entangled by material things and all. Please pray for me. I should get bhakti. The moment we get bhakti, Krishna bhakti, then all these things will automatically disappear. No need for forceful detachment. You will automatically get detached. That's what will happen. So we have to pray for bhakti. And the bhakti can be got only by association of devotees and hear about Krishna's katha all the time. And this knowledge is very important. So how to depend on Krishna? Like Gajendra dependent on Krishna, Kunti Maharani dependent on Krishna. Dependence on Krishna should increase more. And that's the only way. Not neglecting the family. Family neglect is not correct. Carelessness. Maharaj says, don't be callous. Devotee is not callous. He's taking care of his family, but at the same time, he's detached. And that's Bhagavatam does. Very nice. Slowly. It is not an easy process. Slowly.
Thank you, Prabhu. This is all your humility and nice words. And Santani Mataji, Pankaj Prabhu, Giriraj Patel Prabhu, Vinitra Mataji, they are, very happy with the class and wish you everybody happy Kadeshi. So try to chant today 25 rounds and if possible, try to avoid any material, engagement and be in the reading of Srila Prabhupada books. And if you're able to chant more than 25 rounds as we in our congregation, there are devotees who are chanting 50 plus round as well. So I am getting inspiration from that. One day I also, today is my off, so we will try. So once again, thank you all the devotee for participating, especially Sajjan Priya Prabhu. So we will pay our obeisances to all the Vaishnava and end the session. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhuvai vacha patitana pavane bhayo Sri Vaishnave premo namaha. Anand Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Sri Sri Radha Kunj Bihari Bhagwan ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nithai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nithai Gaur Premanandi. Thank you once again, Sajjan Priya Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, Mataji. Please forgive me for any offense. And it's a very strong verse. I have to talk strong, little strong. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.